Every day, unseen forces test the limits of your patience and resolve. Your time, attention, and energy are the territories of your throne, yet without decisive boundaries, they are claimed by others. Each request, each expectation, each lingering demand is a skirmish in a silent war for your sovereignty. Recognize this. To fail in setting boundaries is to surrender ground before the battle has even begun. The invisible siege is relentless. Emails arrive in a torrent, friends drop by unannounced, colleagues demand favors that chip away at your autonomy. Without a clear map of your priorities, your throne becomes a field of encroachment, slowly eroded by the weight of obligations you did not volunteer to defend. Name the enemy. Identify those who seek to overstep without malice, but with momentum, those whose intentions are not malicious, but whose presence consumes your resources. Toxic colleagues, overbearing friends, family members who mistake access for entitlement. Clarity about who threatens your time allows you to marshal defenses. Every yes given unconsciously is a lost territory. Every unchecked concession is a weak wall in your fortress. Immediate reframe converts each request into a tactical challenge. A favor asked is a border to defend. A meeting scheduled is a front line to secure. Observe the disagreement when it arises. When a colleague insists you handle a task outside your remit, respond with calm firmness, outlining your commitments and redirecting their expectation without apology. The energy you retain is the energy that fortifies your position. Use silence as a shield, measured words as a spear. Commands, not pleas. Secure your boundaries, declare your limits clearly, enforce them consistently, and permit no gradual erosion. Your throne is your mental space. Defend it with the discipline of a general, the foresight of a chess master, and the patience of a predator stalking the faintest movement. Small victories compound. Refusing minor intrusions today prevents major assaults tomorrow. Recognize that not all opposition is confrontational. Many transgressions are accidental or habitual. Your sovereignty depends not on others' intentions, but on your readiness to act. Rehearse refusals as drills, make your priorities visible, and treat time as a non-renewable resource that must be guarded. Each defensive action reinforces respect and signals your authority. Walk away from unnecessary engagement, redirect conversations that sap energy, and insulate your schedule from the subtle encroachments of routine chaos. Every micro-decision accumulates into a fortress of autonomy. Reinforce this principle relentlessly, because sovereignty is not granted, it is seized and maintained. The battlefield begins within, and victory is earned through awareness, clarity, and decisive action. Let your mantra echo in every interaction. I command my space and none trespass. Your mind is the seat of your sovereignty, the central fortress from which all defenses radiate. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you indulge, builds the walls that protect your realm or allows invaders to slip unnoticed through cracks in your awareness. To command your domain, you must first recognize that without mental clarity, your boundaries are mere illusions. The throne of your mind is not inherited. It is seized, maintained, and fortified through disciplined attention and unwavering presence. The seat of power is the conscious thought you cultivate each morning, the focus you preserve through the onslaught of distractions. When colleagues attempt to monopolize your time, when friends impose emotional labor, when even family oversteps unspoken limits, it is your mind that must direct the response. Do not react impulsively. Do not surrender control to habit or guilt. The crown of awareness requires vigilance. Identify subtle manipulations, passive aggression, and drains on your energy as the sieges they are. Observe the strategies others employ to bypass your defenses and map them clearly in your mental command center. This is not paranoia, it is disciplined recognition of reality. Each interaction is a potential incursion, preparation is your defense. Practice mental rehearsal as an inner fortress. Before entering meetings, conversations, or social gatherings, envision the exchanges likely to unfold. Anticipate requests, interruptions, or attempts to sway you. See yourself responding with calm, measured authority, preserving your energy and maintaining your focus. When a friend asks for a favor that conflicts with your priorities, respond with concise clarity, redirecting the request without apology or defensiveness. Your mental rehearsal is both shield and sword. It strengthens your boundaries before the skirmish begins and allows you to strike decisively with minimal effort. Small, disciplined practices accumulate. A 10-second pause before answering, a clear internal hierarchy of priorities, a daily review of where your attention has been spent. Each reinforces the inner fortress, ensuring that external pressures cannot erode your throne. Command your thoughts as a general commands an army. Allocate resources deliberately, reinforce weak points, and withdraw from battles that do not serve your sovereignty. Weak, I hope I can manage this without stress. Strong, I will preserve my energy and respond with authority. Let this internal discipline permeate every decision. The mind is not merely a passive observer, it is the architect of your autonomy. Recognize that boundaries begin as a commitment to yourself, executed through clarity, awareness, and rehearsal. The greater your mental fortification, the more effortlessly you repel incursions on your time and energy. No one can breach a throne that is consciously defended. Stand vigilant, think strategically, and own every corner of your inner domain. Let your mantra echo with the force of a commander reviewing his battalion before dawn. My mind is my throne, and I bow to none. The morning is the first battlefield, the hour in which your empire is tested before the world stirs. Every dawn presents an opportunity to seize control or to surrender silently to chaos. Early hours are not for distraction, scrolling, or idle chatter. They are the time to deploy your defenses and sharpen your weapons. Begin with reconnaissance, assess the day ahead, identify potential intrusions, and mark the critical priorities that demand your sovereignty. Use this quiet hour to survey your territory, anticipate conflicts, visualize the interactions that may challenge your authority. Rituals are your swords and shields. Meditation steadies the mind, clearing fog and indecision. Journaling records your plans and observations, exposing patterns of overreach by others. Strategic planning allocates energy where it will matter most, ensuring your empire is not lost to scattered efforts. These tools, practiced daily, transform your morning into a controlled skirmish rather than a reactive scramble. Establish your schedule as a boundary. The first hour sets the tone. If you allow interruptions or diffuse attention here, you concede ground for the rest of the day. Protect this time with precision. Defend it as a commander guards a fortress. If a colleague attempts to pull you into minor conflicts, or a friend demands energy prematurely, respond with calm authority, redirecting the interaction without apology or hesitation. Weak, I'll help if I can. Strong, I will address priorities in my time. Let us reconvene later. This decisive stance signals the limits of your domain, demonstrating the respect required to engage further. Every early victory compounds. Controlling the morning strengthens mental fortitude, sharpens focus, and preserves energy for battles that truly matter. View dawn as an opportunity for first strike advantage. Set clear parameters for communication, tasks, and personal energy expenditure. Allocate the critical hours to reflection, assessment, and deliberate action rather than reaction. Each deliberate act of control reinforces your empire, building momentum that others cannot easily disrupt. By mastering these initial skirmishes, you define the narrative of your day, establishing authority and clarity before external pressures arrive. The morning is not mere preparation, it is conquest, an assertion of sovereignty that ripples through every encounter, every decision, and every interaction that follows. Stand vigilant, plan meticulously, and execute with calm precision. Dominate your dawn, and you dominate your life. Your mantra echoes across the battlefield of hours. Control the morning, command the empire. Stillness is a weapon sharper than any blade and heavier than any shield. In moments of pause, power is revealed. Boundaries are enforced and intentions become clear. Silence is not absence. It is strategy. Observe the world as a predator watches its prey, detecting movements, patterns, and vulnerabilities without revealing your own position. The silent predator strikes only when the timing is absolute, and in life, stillness serves the same purpose. Watch, listen, and learn the intentions of those who test your limits. Every word spoken without necessity weakens authority, while measured silence magnifies it. Hesitation is not uncertainty, it is a signal of control. A pause before responding conveys weight, demonstrating that your no is not impulsive but deliberate, and that your boundaries are not negotiable. In conversation, if someone attempts to pressure you into an early concession, remain unmoved. Weak, I guess that's fine. Strong, I will consider my position and respond in due course. This pause communicates mastery without aggression. Build your invisible armor through this discipline. Silence prevents unnecessary concessions, preserves energy, and strengthens mental resilience. It allows reflection, preventing reactive decisions that erode boundaries. In team settings, observe dynamics before contributing. Understand motivations, alliances, and friction points. In social or professional negotiations, silent observation can reveal hidden agendas that words often obscure. Use micro-examples strategically. When a colleague interrupts or challenges you, respond minimally, with calm authority, redirecting the conversation to preserve your domain. Every observed action becomes intelligence, every silent moment a tactical advantage. The still mind resists emotional hijacks, refusing to grant leverage to impatience, guilt, or social pressure. Combine patience with measured intervention. Act decisively only after gathering sufficient insight. Your presence alone conveys limits. Posture, tone, and controlled gestures reinforce authority without a single word. Treat each encounter as reconnaissance. Let silence guide the flow, revealing the intentions of others while masking your own. Your armor is invisible but impervious. By mastering this principle, you project power, protect your mental territory, and ensure that your sovereignty is recognized by all who approach. Move deliberately, observe relentlessly, and speak with calibrated impact. Stand as the predator in quiet vigilance, unshaken and untouchable. Let every pause reinforce your rule. Your closing mantra echoes as an unbroken command. Silence secures the throne. Every empire crumbles when weak links are tolerated. Your throne is not a charity, it is a fortress demanding vigilance. Identify those who drain energy, dilute focus, or erode confidence. Observe patterns. Those who bring consistent chaos, complain without action, or sow division are liabilities, not allies. Not everyone deserves access to your domain. Distinguish friends from threat with unflinching clarity. Once weak links are recognized, act without hesitation. Swift decapitation is not cruelty, it is preservation. Delay signals indecision, and indecision invites encroachment. Limit exposure, sever ties, or enforce consequences decisively. A colleague who repeatedly violates agreements must experience boundaries enacted, not debated. Weak, maybe next time. Strong, your role ends here. Every yes granted without thought costs territory. Every no reclaims lost land. Guard your time as a general guards strategic positions. Your energy as a king guards his treasury. Each interaction is a battlefield. Recognize when dialogue becomes a trap, when concessions erode authority, when tolerance becomes vulnerability. In a team meeting, when a persistent distractor challenges the agenda, respond calmly, redirect focus, and uphold limits. Silence reinforces your position more than argument ever could. Control the environment, delegate, limit access, and schedule decisively. Protect your mental borders with the same rigor applied to physical defenses. Every commitment is a claim, every refusal is a reclaiming of sovereignty. Observe, act, and fortify relentlessly. Weak influences retreat when confronted with consistent, deliberate boundaries. Let no one linger who diminishes your power or dilutes your focus. Sovereignty is not given, it is enforced through awareness, swift action, and disciplined choice. Operate with clarity. Eliminate the unnecessary, protect the essential, and secure your domain. Your empire thrives when distractions are removed and energy is conserved. Every calculated elimination reinforces authority, preserves focus, and signals unwavering control. Stand unshaken, strike with intention, reclaim what is yours. Your closing mantra resonates with absolute command. Eliminate weakness, secure your throne. It is better to be feared than loved. If you cannot be both, authority begins not with words, but with presence. Your posture, gaze, and tone are the first lines of defense, projecting dominance before a single command is uttered. Like a general surveying the battlefield, hold your head high, shoulders squared, and eyes unwavering. The gaze of a ruler communicates boundaries clearly. No hesitation, no apology, no invitation to test your limits. Firm eye contact deters encroachment, signaling that negotiation is unnecessary, and unnecessary attempts at manipulation will be met with calculated restraint. Voice functions as a sword. Speak with deliberate calmness. Each word carries weight. Each pause amplifies authority. Rapid or trembling speech invites challenge. Controlled, steady delivery forces others to measure themselves against your composure. In meetings, when a colleague questions your decision aggressively, respond without flinching. Voice calm, tone precise, and repeat your stance once. Silence reinforces command more than repetition ever could. Consistency acts as armor. Predictable reactions cultivate respect and fear in equal measure. When you respond identically to similar challenges, boundaries become impenetrable walls, discouraging encroachment and ensuring that your domain remains undisturbed. Weak, wavering, under pressure. Strong, unwavering under scrutiny. Weak, reactive speech. Strong, measured declaration. Armor your demeanor with habitual control. Each interaction is a micro-battle. Every gaze, word, and gesture must reinforce authority. Training your expression, tone, and posture creates an aura that precedes explanation. Even internal uncertainty must never seep into perception. Authority is as much a performance of steadiness as it is a reflection of competence. Command requires discipline. Observe your own reactions, correct inconsistencies, and cultivate a mask of sovereignty. Boundaries will be respected, not because you explain them endlessly, but because your presence enforces them. In conversation, allow interruptions to pass without agitation. Then reclaim focus with a single deliberate statement. Master the subtle tools. Eye contact that holds attention, voice that cuts through noise, and behavior that is unwavering. Your consistency becomes reputation. Your reputation becomes territory. Stand unyielding. Speak deliberately. Act predictably. Let the world understand your limits before you articulate them. Let no one mistake courtesy for weakness or calm for indecision. Your mask is your armor, your expression your sword, your posture your shield. Command through presence, and the battlefield of human interaction bends to your control. Close every encounter with silent authority, letting perception enforce boundaries before argument begins. Your final mantra resonates with unwavering power. Command is seen before it is spoken. Discipline within the mind precedes mastery over the world. Your inner battlefield is the most dangerous terrain. Hesitation, guilt, and doubt lurk like hidden enemies ready to strike. The first step is neutralizing the saboteur within. Recognize the voice that urges appeasement, that whispers, "Be nice at all costs," and confront it with unwavering clarity. This voice seeks to erode boundaries from the inside, leaving you exposed to manipulation and disrespect. Name it, observe it, and refuse its commands. Train your thoughts to act as precision strikes. Before engaging externally, set exact limits in your mind. Know where your line lies, what is negotiable, and what is absolute. Like a sniper surveying the field, plan your actions so each enforcement of a boundary lands cleanly, leaving no room for misinterpretation. Precision eliminates hesitation, ensuring that your limits are respected without repeated negotiation. Mental vigilance transforms reflexive assertiveness into armor. Responding instantly to encroachment signals mastery, delay signals weakness. Every interaction is a duel where the first pause can cost influence. Practice asserting boundaries until action becomes automatic. Weak, delay before response. Strong, immediate, calm enforcement. Weak, uncertainty in limits. Strong, clarity in every decision. Even minor micro-decisions, such as declining a repeated request for favors, must be handled with the same calculated discipline. Stand firm without aggression, enforce without apology. When a colleague attempts to push a deadline, act decisively. Restate your position, maintain posture, and let your calm refusal communicate strength. Each disciplined reaction reinforces internal authority and external perception. Your mind becomes a fortress. The inner assassin eliminates hesitation, fear, and self-doubt before they can influence behavior. Train relentlessly. Rehearse responses, anticipate manipulative tactics, and refine your decisiveness. Let reflexive assertiveness be your default, not a cultivated exception. Boundaries are upheld not just through words, but through relentless internal control. Victory over others begins with victory over self. Every moment of doubt that you conquer is a battlefield won without engagement. Every act of internal discipline expands your domain, reinforces your sovereignty, and safeguards your presence. In this way, mastery of the inner assassin ensures that your limits are absolute, your resolve unquestionable, and your authority undeniable. Stand unwavering, act decisively, and let internal discipline dictate every boundary. Your closing mantra resonates like a sharpened blade. Strike hesitation down before it strikes you. Hunger is the engine of power. Every day you must feed the wolf within, the primal drive for self-respect, assertiveness, and ambition. Neglect it, and weakness seeps into every decision, every boundary, leaving you vulnerable to those who would test your limits. Sustaining power begins with yourself. Invest energy, time, and focus in your growth before extending it to others. Attend your body, mind, and skills as a general supplies his army before marching into battle. Without preparation, your forces falter and your sovereignty erodes. Let your hunger fuel action. Desire for autonomy and mastery sharpens perception, accelerates decisions, and enforces limits with clarity. When a co-worker repeatedly encroaches on your responsibilities, confront the situation decisively, grounded in self-interest, without aggression. Weak, tolerating repeated overreach. Strong, calm, firm, immediate boundary enforcement. Hunger is motivation. It transforms ambition into a tactical advantage. Balanced strength is the art of survival. Starve passivity, feed courage and discipline. Do not allow indecision or self-doubt to sap resolve. Train reflexive assertiveness until acting in alignment with your values becomes instinctive. Recognize moments when you are tempted to sacrifice your boundaries for ease or approval, and instead reinforce them. Like a predator that hunts only when nourished, your capacity to dominate interactions and maintain respect relies on constant internal fueling. This does not mean taking at others' expense. It means replenishing your own authority and courage before responding to external demands. Daily routines, setting goals, reviewing priorities, reflecting on victories, and learning from setbacks act as feeding rituals. Consistency maintains dominance, and irregularity invites erosion of respect. When confronted by manipulation, act from a place of internal abundance, not scarcity. Spec with precision, hold posture, and retreat only when tactically necessary, never from weakness. Your energy is finite, allocated strategically. Feed ambition with daily accomplishments, reinforce assertiveness with deliberate choices, and strengthen self-respect through repeated defense of your limits. The wolf within thrives on this regimen, and through it, your presence commands immediate recognition and obedience without coercion. Starve indecision, nourish courage, and your boundaries will be absolute, your authority undeniable. Let every action remind you of your internal power, every decision reaffirm your sovereignty, and every interaction reflect the strength you have cultivated. Close the hunt and let your mantra echo with quiet ferocity. Feed the wolf and it will guard your throne. Every relationship is a square on the chessboard of life, and every interaction demands strategic foresight. You cannot afford to act blindly. The battlefield is subtle, and each move carries consequences. Opponent mapping is your first imperative. Observe colleagues, friends, and acquaintances carefully. Identify who respects your limits, who will push boundaries, and who seeks to manipulate your generosity or hesitation. Gather this intelligence relentlessly, without judgment or attachment. Knowledge of the board shapes every subsequent move. Calculated moves require discipline and clarity. Every no is a tactical advance, signaling your position and setting boundaries that others must acknowledge. Concessions are not weakness, but deliberate choices, weighing long-term advantage over momentary ease. When a team member oversteps by taking credit for your work, respond with calm precision, assert your contribution, reinforce limits, and redirect focus to shared objectives. Weak, silent resentment. Strong, clear declaration and boundary maintenance, without aggression. Endgame awareness ensures your king. Your inner peace is protected above all else. Never sacrifice clarity, autonomy, or mental stability for temporary harmony or approval. Recognize that each interaction is a potential check or threat. Anticipate moves before they occur, predicting challenges and opportunities with foresight and detachment. Maintain reserves of emotional energy and attention. Overextension leaves the king vulnerable and undermines strategic dominance. Prioritize actions that safeguard mental sovereignty while allowing calculated influence over the board. Treat social obligations as maneuverable pieces, shifting alliances as necessary without compromising your core boundaries. Observe patterns, anticipate intentions, and commit to moves with decisive timing. Reflect regularly on outcomes, adjusting strategy without ego, but with unwavering self-interest. Cultivate the discipline to walk away from unwinnable scenarios, understanding that restraint is a form of power. Through this, your presence commands recognition, your decisions shape interactions, and your sovereignty remains intact. Every choice on this board strengthens or weakens your position. Act with precision, observe relentlessly, and defend your king without hesitation. Close each day, reaffirming control, focus, and tactical awareness, and let your guiding mantra resonate. Every move secures my throne. Discipline is the forge upon which an unbreakable will is tempered. Every day, you step into the crucible of routine, knowing that consistency is your blacksmith's fire. Treat your body as armor, your mind as steel. Begin with exercise that challenges endurance, meditation that clears distraction, and reflection that sharpens judgment. These rituals are not optional, they are the weapons that repel intrusion and indecision. Boundary drills transform hesitation into instinct. Rehearse difficult conversations until refusal becomes a natural strike, precise and unwavering. When a colleague repeatedly demands your time, practice the assertion calmly, state your limit, redirect responsibility, and maintain composure. Weak, passive avoidance. Strong, deliberate, clear, unshakable stance. Resilience training builds a mind impervious to pressure, social expectations, manipulative tactics, and induced guilt are met with calm fortitude. Each refusal strengthens the nervous system's tolerance for tension. Each repetition embeds strategy into habit. Begin each morning with a sequence that conditions attention, focus, and resolve. Visualize challenges as sieges and your rituals as armaments that fortify the inner keep. Guard your boundaries with the same rigor a general defends a fortress. When conflict arises, respond deliberately rather than reactively. Each exercise, meditation, and rehearsal is a preparatory maneuver, reinforcing autonomy and mental sovereignty. Track progress meticulously, note where control falters, and adjust without judgment. Rituals are cumulative. They compound, creating a lattice of strength that supports every decision and action. Through repetition, the mind learns to anticipate intrusion and resist it before it reaches your threshold. This iron will becomes visible to others. As calm authority, respect is commanded without force, influence is asserted without coercion. End each day by reviewing actions, reaffirming limits, and recommitting to the sequence that fortifies your independence. The battlefield is daily life, and only those who train relentlessly survive with their sovereignty intact. Let each ritual be deliberate, each act precise, each refusal decisive, and internalize the guiding mantra, "My will is steel, unyielding and absolute." True mastery is measured not by the battles you win, but by the sovereignty you maintain when no one dares to challenge you. Stand as though every intrusion bounces off armor, each word and action reflecting the unassailable strength within. Your presence becomes a fortress, your demeanor an impenetrable shield. Act decisively, speak deliberately, and exist without hesitation. The invincible persona is forged in the repetition of calm, strategic choices. Train yourself to respond with steady authority rather than reactive emotion. Each interaction is an opportunity to reinforce boundaries. When a colleague presses for extra work, answer with composure, reaffirm priorities, and let silence assert your limits. Weak, apologetic compliance. Strong, firm, precise, and unwavering. Protect your throne, your time, energy, and respect, as if it were a citadel under constant siege. Set schedules that are non-negotiable, guard your attention against distraction, and refuse concessions that erode sovereignty. Each refusal is not defiance, but preservation. Every concession is a potential breach. Cultivate the magnet of respect through consistency. When others recognize your limits, they instinctively adjust, reducing conflict and enhancing influence. The aura of untouchability is amplified by visible discipline, deliberate action, and unwavering self-regard. Resilience becomes habitual. Social pressure, criticism, or subtle manipulation are met with calm observation and measured response. Your posture, tone, and choices signal that intrusion is futile. Let each engagement reinforce authority, negotiate politely but firmly, redirect demands without apology, and maintain a rhythm of personal power. Visualize your life as a strategic territory, every boundary a defensive wall, every decision a guarded gate. Train daily to uphold these standards, rehearse responses to encroachment, and embed autonomy into instinct. Over time, your limits are no longer suggestions. They are commands respected by allies and opponents alike. Authority, once internalized, radiates outward, compelling respect without confrontation. Let the world witness your mastery through presence alone, understanding that attempts to breach your sovereignty are ineffective. Become the architect of your own domain, the ruler of your inner and outer environment, and the embodiment of unshakable power. Internalize this final command and live it relentlessly. I am untouchable, and my throne stands unbreached. Your sovereignty is not granted. It is forged in the heat of disciplined choice, in the unyielding enforcement of your limits, in the calm execution of strategy when the world expects hesitation. Each day you rise, you sharpen mental clarity as a blade honed on the whetstone of reflection. Decisions are no longer reaction, but command. Thoughts align with actions as the mind of a general unites with the movements of an army. Every refusal, every assertion of space, every no spoken with measured authority is a strike that builds your fortress. You have become both the king and the citadel, a presence that others approach with respect, instinctively aware of the walls surrounding you. Visualize your life as a chessboard. You move the king while every other piece obeys the laws you have established. Every interaction is a calculated advance or retreat, each boundary a strategic maneuver, each concession weighed against the cost to your sovereignty. Internal discipline becomes habitual, the mental clarity to identify threats, manipulations or subtle encroachments is now second nature. Stand firm when criticism seeks to unsettle you, respond to demand with calm, measured explanation, and refuse to yield to pressure. Weak, apologetic compliance. Strong, deliberate assertion. The crown solidifies with every encounter where you honor your limits, where you respond without agitation, where your presence communicates authority without words. Like armor tempered in fire, your character resists corrosion from coercion or guilt. Micro example: when a colleague challenges your deadline, meet the assertion with calm firmness, restate your priorities, and redirect the conversation toward productive compromise without bending. Invincible persona. Act as though all attempts to breach your space rebound, as though your composure is a shield no influence can pierce. Unassailable throne. Guard your time, energy, and attention as if each is a tower in a fortress, defended by walls of clarity and steel-willed intention. Magnet of respect. Others recognize the consistency and enforceability of your limits. They adjust instinctively, submitting to the boundaries you craft. Synthesis of strategy. Integrate discipline, decisiveness, and awareness into a seamless operation that governs thought, action, and reaction. Battlefield realization. You navigate life with foresight, considering moves and countermoves, anticipating attempts to undermine or bypass your authority. Every ritual, every rehearsal of enforcement, every reflection solidifies control over your domain. The crown is not merely symbolic, it is functional, manifest in the respect, compliance, and deference of those around you. Your sovereignty is experienced, felt, and acknowledged. Entrench your boundaries in habit until they are inseparable from your presence. Stand as a sentinel, not as a tyrant. Allow firmness to communicate respect for yourself and for others. Authority is an extension of clarity, a reflection of self-mastery. Let no intrusion unsettle the calm within. Let no attempt at manipulations disturb the equilibrium you maintain. The throne forged in fire is immovable, earned through relentless, conscious practice. Every strategic action reinforces your command, every thought disciplined, every limit uncompromising. Your mind, body, and spirit operate as a unified citadel, each component reinforcing the other. Accept responsibility for the integrity of your fortress, for no external power shapes the walls you have constructed. Mastery is visible, undeniable, and magnetic. You are untouchable not by force, but by the inviolable structure of your self-respect, by the precision of your enforcement, by the clarity of your presence. Own the space around you, govern the interactions that enter it, and let each movement reflect authority honed through practice. Stand unshaken, act decisively, and let the world recognize the unassailable nature of your sovereignty. Close with unwavering conviction. My throne is forged in fire, and I command without compromise. Every day you rise is a battlefield, every conversation a potential siege, and every decision a move upon your personal chessboard. To rule yourself is to wield the sharpest weapon you possess: discipline. Your boundaries are your fortresses, and each interaction tests their strength. Do not yield when others attempt to encroach. Stand firm, for every yes given without consent chips away at your sovereignty. Enforce limits with calm precision, and the world will respect the walls you build. Visualize your throne. It is not ornate decoration, but a citadel of time, energy, and attention. Protect it as you would a strategic stronghold, allowing only what aligns with your purpose to enter. Daily enforcement is not negotiation, but assertion. Each interaction is an opportunity to demonstrate that your presence is non-negotiable. When a colleague demands more than your capacity allows, respond with firm clarity, redirecting energy to priorities that serve your empire. Weak hesitation in the face of intrusion. Strong, measured refusal with unwavering calm. Repeat your mantra: I am the master of my throne. No one enters uninvited. Internalize it until it governs every movement, every thought, every choice. Self-mastery precedes external mastery. No conquest of others can substitute for the dominion you hold over yourself. Let every habit reinforce your limits. Every decision honors your priorities. Every interaction serves as a declaration of authority. Your sovereignty is recognized instinctively. Others adjust to the contours of your power without challenge. Calmness is your shield, clarity your sword, and consistency your armor. Your throne is defended not with force but with the certainty of your presence, the inviolability of your boundaries. Each action, each no, each reassertion strengthens the structure of your dominion. Do not allow guilt or social pressure to fracture your defenses. Lead with quiet command, govern with unwavering attention, and cultivate respect through precision. Stand as the unassailable ruler of your mind, your time, and your spirit. Let your choices be deliberate, your actions calculated, your limits inviolate. Daily enforcement ensures that your empire of self remains untouchable and your throne unchallenged. Carry the mantra into every encounter, allowing it to shape the energy you project and the influence you claim. Your power is not aggressive, it is resolute, unwavering, and magnetic. Others sense it instinctively, yielding space where none can enter without consent. Command yourself first, and the world bows to the order you maintain. The throne is not a gift of circumstance, but a reflection of relentless, conscious effort. Rule every thought, every action, every interaction, as if the stability of your empire depends on it, because it does. There is no compromise in sovereignty. Stand resolute, act decisively, enforce consistently, and let your presence declare authority without uttering a single word. Your empire begins and ends with you. Remember always, I am the master of my throne. No one enters uninvited.